Okay, so how did it work out last week? How did you do with accepting the assignment of refinement? I know, it's hard, but I'm proud of you for sticking this out so far. Keep going. You are getting to almost to the halfway point, so you're doing awesome. You're doing great. Keep going. All right, so this week we're going to be moving from accepting the assignment of refinement into habit number 2. She follows through with her commitments despite how she feels. I know. We live in a world today that everything is based on how we feel, right? Like if it's cloudy, I don't want to go out there today. Or if it's hot, I don't want to do that today. Or if you're tired or sad or upset, everything, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Everything that we tend to do seems to be based on how we feel. Now, this is a hard habit, and I promise you that it's going to be challenging, but there's something really powerful that happens to Ruth when she decides that she's going to be a woman who sticks out a commitment despite how she feels. So last week, we saw how bitter and broken Naomi was, and I want you to think for a second, okay, what is it like to be around someone who is really bitter? It's not a lot of fun, right? It's not like party central all the time. It's kind of womp all the time. And I don't want to minimize how Naomi felt, but the reality is when we're around people who are bitter, sometimes it can make us feel bitter too. And so I was so inspired when I saw this second habit lived out in the life of Ruth. So Naomi and Ruth, they get to Bethlehem, and everyone in the town is like, oh my goodness, did you see who's back? Check this out. And so they start trying to rebuild their lives, and then Ruth says, Naomi, I'm going to get to work. And Naomi says, go for it. And so we see Ruth head out into the fields. She is going to be doing what is called gleaning. Now, this was a process of coming and getting behind the harvesters and picking up little leftover pieces of wheat. It was not a fun job. It was not one of these jobs that I'm sure she woke up to and said, yes, today I'm living out my dream. But she knew that she had to get out there and get to work in order to see the faithfulness of God lived out in her life. But y'all, I love this part of the story. This is my most favorite part of the entire story. Okay, are you ready? So let's see what happens. All right, so in chapter 2, verse 3, it says, so Ruth left and entered the field to gather grain behind the harvesters. She happened to be, key part, in the portion of the land belonging to Boaz, who was from Elimelech's family, which was Naomi's husband. Now, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a spoiler for this story, but this was a really good thing that Ruth just so happened to find herself in this field. She woke up. She decided that despite all of the feelings of grief, all of the feelings of disappointment, brokenness, bitterness that she might have been experiencing from Naomi, that she was going to follow through with this and get to work despite how she felt. And then she has this moment where she just so happens to be in the right place at the right time, where she's meeting this man named Boaz. Okay, so let me break this down for you. Let's pretend that you are a woman who has committed to show up and serve in the nursery every single Sunday. And at first you start off with that commitment and you're like, yay, this is awesome, I love these babies. But then you start to get some spit up on your clothes, you have some kids maybe that kick in your knee. I had that happen to me once. Or you just get kind of tired of going. But then Sunday morning rolls around and you wake up and I've done this before. You start feeling your forehead. Oh, I think I might have a fever. You don't have a fever, but you think you might have a fever. Or I think I'm getting sick. Or, oh, I'm just so tired. I wish I could just hit the alarm clock a few more times. And so you have that moment where you think, I could come up with an excuse and call out this week. But then you remember that you are a woman who sticks out a commitment. Well, it just so happens that a new mom comes to that church for the very first time, and she puts that baby into your arms, and you rock that baby, and you feed that baby, and you sing to that baby, and that mom goes into the sanctuary, and she gives her life to Jesus Christ for the first time. And you are forever part of a generational line that has been changed. Because you decided that you were going to have a day where you followed through with your commitments despite how you felt, it just so happened that God chose to use you to change someone's life. I don't know if that excites you, but it excites me. And so there's many days where I wake up and I'm like, I just don't feel like doing this today. I don't feel like doing this. And I want you to know, I'm definitely not living this out perfectly. Like, I have not been at the gym every single day since I started writing this Bible study. And I still have arguments with my husband, and I still want to quit motherhood. But I've decided that I'm going to follow through with my commitments despite how I feel. I'm accepting those assignments of refinement, those places where I just want to give up, I want to quit, I want to walk away from. And then I'm choosing to follow through despite how I feel. And there's a verse I want to leave with you this week that has helped me understand what it means to follow through despite how I feel. And it's from 1 Peter 5:6, and it says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that he may exalt you at the proper time." Yeah, this is a humble, quiet place where most people don't walk this habit through with us. It's a place between us and God, a place where we say, God, you can count on me despite how I feel today. All right, friends, you're going to have another amazing week of Bible study. I can't wait to see what God does inside of your heart this week. This is going to be a challenging week. I can promise you, you're going to not feel like doing your Bible study. But I want you to push through that and decide that you're going to be the woman who doesn't quit, a woman that God can count on. I'll see you next week.